Good morning, this is Send 7 World News in 7 minutes. I'm Stephen Devincenzi. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of September 2024. Starting in Europe today, in Ukraine, at least 51 people were killed yesterday in a Russian missile strike in the central Ukrainian city of Poltava. Poltava is around 200 kilometers from the front lines. Most reports say that 2 missiles hit a collection of buildings that included a military communication center, a hospital, and other buildings. Most reports suggest that the people killed were a mix of soldiers and civilians. In the southern city of Zaporizhia, a woman and her 8-year-old son were killed by a Russian missile. Across Europe, many schools are banning mobile phones starting this week, the first week back at school for millions of students. Hungary, Italy, and Greece have started new mobile phone bans, although schools are generally able to choose how to follow these rules. The Netherlands already banned mobile phones in secondary schools in January, and this ban has been extended to primary schools this week. In Denmark, Belgium, and France, hundreds of schools have said that they will ban phones, despite there not being any nationwide rules. Between France and the United Kingdom, at least 12 people have died after a migrant boat capsized. The French Coast Guard has said that 50 people were rescued. This year, over 20,000 people have crossed illegally from France to the UK. The United Kingdom government has said that it will investigate dynamic ticket pricing after complaints about inflated prices for the reunion of the band Oasis. Tickets to see Oasis have been selling for around £350, around €415. Spain's meteorological agency has announced that this August was the hottest August ever recorded, with an average temperature of 25 degrees. Americas. In the United States, former President Donald Trump appears to have admitted that he lost the 2020 election. For the last 4 years, Trump has generally claimed that he won the presidential election and that voter fraud allowed Joe Biden to win. However, in a recently published interview with podcaster Lex Friedman, Trump said that he lost the election by a whisker.
I became president. Then the second time I got millions more votes than I got the first time. So I was told if I got 63 million, which is what I got the first time, you would win. You can't not win. And I got millions of more votes than that and lost by a whisker.
Brazil's Supreme Court has maintained a ban on social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. X has been unavailable in Brazil since Saturday. In Venezuela, a court has issued an arrest warrant for opposition leader Edmundo González for alleged conspiracy and other crimes. Thousands of people have been arrested in Venezuela since the presidential election 6 weeks ago, which the Electoral Board said was won by President Nicolás Maduro. However, the election has been described as fraudulent by opposition parties, rights groups, and many world governments, including most other countries in South America. Africa. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a failed prison break has left 129 people dead, according to authorities. Makala is the biggest prison in the DRC and holds around 15,000 prisoners, including men and women, and has often been criticised for overcrowding and poor conditions. In Uganda, popular activist and opposition leader Bobi Wine has been shot in the leg during a confrontation with police, according to his party, the National Unity Platform. Wine was the main opposition candidate in the 2021 presidential election, which his party says were rigged in favour of President Yoweri Museveni. Asia and Oceania. In Indonesia, Pope Francis has arrived to start a 12-day trip to Asia, the longest time he has ever spent away from the Vatican. The Pope will also visit Papua New Guinea, Singapore, and Timor-Leste. Christianity is the largest religion in the world, and over half of Christians are Catholic. Islam is growing faster than Christianity, mostly because of birth rates, and is expected to become the world's largest religion in about 50 years. The Pope is expected to focus on climate change during his trip to Asia. New Zealand has announced that it will almost triple its entry tax for tourists. The Visitor Conservation and Tourism Levy will rise to 100 New Zealand dollars, which is around 56 euros, and visitors from almost all of the world's countries must pay. In Palestine, the World Health Organization has said that they are ahead of targets to vaccinate children against polio. Representative Rick Pippercorn said that over 160,000 children had been vaccinated in the first 2 days, which was more than projected.
So the total number of the first 2 days, children under 10, reached 161,030 children. That actually surpassed the target we set.
And in Israel, a 4-year-old boy has been invited back to a museum to see an ancient jar that he accidentally smashed. Anna Geller said that she was distracted for a few seconds while her son Ariel broke the Bronze Age jar, which is around 3,500 years old. However, the Hecht Museum invited him and his family back to the museum to see the jar, which has been reconstructed. A big thank you to Sabir in the United Arab Emirates, Elena in the United Kingdom, and Angela in Germany for becoming our newest supporters. If you enjoy this podcast and would like to have access to the transcripts that we write every day and our weekly worksheets and world news quiz, you can become a supporter at send7.org. I'm Stephen Devincenzi. Tomorrow you will be with Juliet Martin. Have a great day.